View, if I know how to do that. So good evening, everyone. Nope, that didn't work. I don't know. So,
select it.
okay. You think?
Select it.
No, that's not working. Sorry. So good evening, everyone. We're delighted to welcome you to our call this evening. By your presence here, you're saying that your business and your mission is a priority in what we're doing as we kick off 2019. And each week when we come together as the Mission Possible team, it is to remind us of our mission, which is inspiring healthy living around the world, and that we are making a difference in people's lives every single day. And I know that you will be so glad that you have chosen to be on this call this evening as we kick off 2019. I don't know anybody better that I could ask, because most of us do not need an introduction to Stephen Millman, our special speaker. Many of you have seen Stephen at the Juice Plus Live conferences on stage. He is the Vice President of Canadian Operations. He travels globally as well, not just in Canada, but he's here in the US and around the world. But I know that he has taken the Canadian team to a whole new level. I've been hearing some of the things that are going on for this coming year, Stephen, with their own conferences, and I'm excited about what you guys are doing. So yeah, but this last August, Stephen really kicked the Pajama Regional off, and I don't know about you, but he blew my hair back. He absolutely blew my hair back with the energy and the statistics and the information that he shared with us with where we are in this gig economy and what we can do to build our business. So I'm going to introduce and welcome Stephen to this call. And Stephen, please take it away. We are delighted to have you. I got you unmuted. Oops. Okay, you're good to go. Okay, there you go.
There we go. You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Dave. Great to see you guys. Great to see everybody. I do definitely see some familiar faces of Mission Possible. I love your team name. I think it's fantastic. So thank you so much for inviting me on tonight. It's an honor and a privilege. As I was, Sharon and I were talking on Voxer, well, when we were talking in August around this idea, and then using Voxer to communicate back and forth, I was reflecting back to, I think maybe the first time I met Dave and Sharon. I think it feels like a long time ago now. I think it was one of the very first boot camps I ever went to, was Branson Boot Camp with Doug Arscott, when I was just kind of learning the ropes of what we had to do, and I was just getting out in the field and spending some time together. And I was reflecting back on, one, that feels like a really long time ago. And two, just how amazing that was. I remember walking in and thinking, wow, these guys have really got something going here. And then have just been completely inspired by you guys ever since. I've always looked up to you guys as mentors in the business. So it is an absolute privilege to be on your 2019 kickoff call. So thank you so much for having me. It's an exciting time of year, always is. These are my favorite calls to do when we're kicking off the new year. And I'm very excited to share with you kind of my thoughts on where we are, as Sharon mentioned, in terms of the gig economy. I'll explain what that means. For those of you who don't know, it's kind of a slang term that's a bit of a buzzword right now. So I'll explain that and just kind of why I see us fitting into that, how we fit into that, and why I'm excited about it. Before I do that, I'll just take 2 minutes and share my story with you guys. For those of you I haven't met or we haven't connected yet, I'm Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Juice Plus Canada and part of the global sales team. I've been with the company 22 years over the summer, so it'll be 23 years this year. Started with the company when I was 18, moved from the East Coast to Canada. For those of you who don't know where Newfoundland is, it's a big, giant granite rock out in the middle of the North Atlantic. I often call it the tropical island of Newfoundland, but that's a little fib. It's also where the Titanic sank. That's where I was born and raised. And when I graduated from school, our economy kind of took a dive out there, and I took a chance and moved to Ontario. So I live in just outside Toronto right now. My sister had been working with the Juice Plus company already. I went to work with her one day. They put me to work. I went to work in the warehouse, spent 6 months in the warehouse. They offered me a full-time job in that time, and then I went on to start studying accounting. After about a year and a half in accounting, the company realized that wasn't my strength and decided we better look at other things for me. It's one of the things I've always admired about this company. At that time, the president of our company was Paul Stewart, a very dear friend and mentor of mine, and he took me under his wing, and Doug Arscott took me under their wing, and really started to identify, you know, what I was good at and what I wasn't good at, and helped me, you know, work on my strengths. And that's really where I fell in love with the Juice Plus company. Prior to that, kind of those first year, it just felt more like a job. I didn't really know a lot about what we were doing. I was kind of picking and packing Juice Plus and sending it out. And then when I moved out of accounting and into field support and customer service, I fell in love with the company. And that's mostly because I got an opportunity to meet people just like you. I started traveling, as I said, with Doug, and traveling throughout North America and attending events and starting to hear stories and meeting people and really finding out two things: what Juice Plus was doing for people, and what this business was doing for people. And then, you know, you start to hear that and you think, wow, I'm aligned with this incredible company, this mission-driven company that is changing people's lives. Some on a smaller scale, some on a really big scale, and all the spots in between, and how incredible is that? And then you start to build relationships with people. And certainly over the last 22 plus years, I've just formed incredible relationships with people. A lot of my friends have often said to me, wow, you've been with that company that long. And it's unusual for my generation to be with a company that long. You know, a lot of my friends have kind of jumped around from company to company and building their resume and building their experience. And they often ask why, you know, why have you stuck with it? And what I've shared with them is, it's the relationships, it's the people. I've completely fallen in love with the mission and completely fallen in love with the people that drive the mission. I can get off a plane in just about anywhere Juice Plus is in 20 plus countries around the world, and there's a welcoming, smiling, Juice Plus glowing person going to be there to share a meal or just hang out or go inspire a bunch of people at an event. And I put my head to bed at night. I'm pretty grateful for that, that this is what I get to call work, that this is what I do for a living. So it's been an incredible journey. And I think 2019 is going to be an incredible year globally for our business. Certainly we're excited in Canada, as Sharon mentioned. We've launched a pretty significant campaign for 2019, and we're going to have our very first ever Juice Plus conference in Canada in the fall of 2019. So we're all pretty stoked about that. But I think overall, you know, no matter which country we're in, everything is shaping up to have a historic year for the Juice Plus company. And I think we're all pretty excited about that. And I think, and this is what I wanted to get into, I think there's some contributing factors to, in my opinion, why it's shaping up to be an incredible year. And this was some of the items I shared on the Pajama Regional, and it's still really relevant as we head into 2019. And that's this whole idea of a gig economy. And I heard this, you know, buzzwords and different, you know, reading different articles and different books. And then I went to a Direct Sellers Association conference at the beginning of the summer, and there was a speaker there, and they were speaking on it as well. And really what he had shared just really resonated with me in terms of where we fit in as a company. One is as a direct selling industry, but then I kind of boiled it down to us and how different we are than a lot of companies in our industry and how we really fit into this gig economy. So again, that gig economy is kind of a slang word. The idea of having a gig, a side gig, or a project that you're working on in your part-time. It stems back from, as Dave probably knows, you know, it's a musician term that I go out and get a gig. A gig's actually a stage that people would perform on. But, you know, it's transpired into this word in economics of where is somewhere or something that I can do as a side project to help me earn some extra income. And then when we dug into that a little further and I started reading a little more about that, it became not so much just about the income, but it also became for people, what can I do that's going to bring value and help me, you know, feel like I'm contributing? So in other words, people have reached this place in their life, and I don't think this has any age restriction on it. There are people who we're calling millennials or younger who fall into this camp, and people my parents' age, you know, who are well into the retirement who fall into this. who just want to figure out how they can contribute. What can I do to bring value to my community? And what can I do to give back? And for us who are still in the working and bringing income in, what can I do to do that and build an income? And for a lot of people, they're just not satisfied in their job. You know, they go to work, they come home, they're unsatisfied. They probably feel like they're underpaid, and they're looking for something to do that's going to help them feel like they're bringing value. And this has really started to thrive, especially considering the middle class is absolutely exploding. They're expecting that the middle class is going to be 2 billion people globally in the next 10 years. That's a massive amount of people who typically fall into that category of having a job that may leave them unsatisfied and will be looking for something extra to do, which is exactly, you know, where a business like ours fits really well. So that in and of itself, that this gig economy works, and it's fueled by a population explosion of the middle class over this next 10 years, is setting us up to certainly thrive. And that gig economy is evident. You can see it everywhere. There's advertisements, you're hearing it just about everywhere. You know, people can have an Airbnb, you know, so if you have a property, you can rent that out and earn some extra income. You can become an Uber driver. You can become a skip the dishes driver. You can become an Uber Eats driver. You can be, and all of these opportunities are out there, and they're all, I'm not here to slam those opportunities. They're all doing really well because people are looking for something where they can contribute, maybe build some social networks and bring some extra income into the home. And so that's really what the gig economy is and how it's showing up. That combined with the fact that the wellness industry, which is where we live, is now a $3.7 trillion industry. So it wasn't that long ago, for those of you who've been around a little while, we used to have a guy come to our conference, and he did a couple of speaking engagements for us, and he wrote a book. His name was Paul Zane Pilzer. And he was talking about the wellness industry at that time, and this was probably 10 years ago, might have been a little longer, feels like about that time period, where he was talking about the wellness industry being the next $1 trillion industry. So it hadn't quite reached that mark yet. We were all excited about that because this is the industry and the space that we are in. And now it has reached $3.7 trillion. So we start adding this up. We have a gig economy, a booming middle class, and an industry that's approaching $3.7 trillion. That's the amount of money people are starting to spend on taking control of their own health. And then you have another element that factors into all of this, and that's a giant shift in retail. So over the course of, I think it was 2017, there was something around 7,000 retail stores had closed. So that's, a shift in how consumers are spending their money, but it's also a shift in the number of people who are out of work and suddenly looking for jobs, looking for things to do. So that also fuels the gig economy, but it's also a key indicator on how people are spending money. So it wasn't that long ago, I remember getting into conversations with people at Juice Plus events, particularly customer-driven events or health education events, Prevention Plus, and someone would ultimately say, well, can I buy Juice Plus in a store? Is it available at a store? And the idea of having it shipped direct at that time felt foreign to people. If it wasn't on a storefront, then why would I buy it? I can have it shipped to my home. That felt very foreign 10 or 15 years ago. Now with the rise of things like Amazon and retail shift completely shifting a little bit, now the question when we're at Prevention Plus events and talking to customers is, can I have it shipped direct to my home? So there's been a big shift in terms of how people want to receive their goods, want to purchase, and want to interact with business, which we have a solution for as well, which is what we've been doing for a very, very long time and have a great model for. So all of this sets us up to have this incredible opportunity where the Juice Plus family of products, as well as our Juice Plus virtual franchise, just fits so well. And all of that combined with the fact that our business is social, mobile, and global. So when we go back to that gig economy idea and we start looking at all the different examples that people are willing to do, Airbnb, Uber, Skip the Dishes, all these things, there's a couple of challenges with that. And again, I'm not here to knock any of that, but there are challenges with that. There are time restrictions. You're still trading time for money. You still have to go get in that car, open up that app, and go out and deliver product, deliver goods, trade your time for money, pick people up, drop them off. It's also very territorial. You're limited to what you can do in those spaces. You know, you can get into your car and you can go spend the evening and drive and deliver or pick people up, but you're very limited to the space that you can build that business in. So it's not a global business and you're still trading time for money. Same with Airbnb. Airbnb falls into that original category of having money to make money. It's great if you can have Airbnb and you have lots of property. So I've got a property in Florida or I have a property here that I don't use that I can just rent out. Well, not too many people fit into that category. You know, I don't have several properties all over the world that I'm just not using at this time that I can rent out to people all whenever I feel like it. And I don't think a lot of people have that. So, you know, the Airbnb model doesn't necessarily work for everybody. So then you start to look at what we have. So we have an incredible opportunity that is only $50. $50 a year, people then own a business. It is a global business. As soon as you sign that application, you can build this business in any country that Juice Plus is operating in, which is, I think, 22 countries right now. We are a customer-focused business. So we are built with strong, stable customers. We have strong, stable customer bases. 85% of what we ship out of our warehouses around the world go to people who aren't involved in the business, who just love Juice Plus and want to get healthy. We have a strong and stable customer business. We lead with health education, and we lead with health, and we inspire people to take charge of their health, which fits really well into our, you know, $3.7 trillion industry that we're in. What also fits really well in that space is the fact that we have the most thoroughly researched nutraceutical product on the face of the earth. That backed with the fact that we're over 25 years in the marketplace. So we've got incredible experience. We have incredible stories. You guys have heard them. I'm sure you share them in your teams in terms of what Juice Plus can do. And then we have this incredible body of research to back all that up. And then we're backed by a global company that's a $1 billion organization that's set up, as I said, in over 20 countries, that's approaching 50 years in business. So we're not a quick startup. We're not a fly-by-night company. We are a well-experienced company. That combined with the fact that we collect the money, we ship the product directly to your customers. You don't have to carry any inventory and drive all over town, and you build it where you want and when you want. So when you start to look at how we live in this place where people are looking for something to do, the opportunities that are becoming quite popular are very limited. And then we have this solution that we have, which again is, you know, hits all the checklists in terms of what people are looking for and as an incredible solution for people. So that's the space that we're in, which is absolutely phenomenal. And then you look at where we are right now. It's the beginning of another new year. I don't know about you guys, but I love this time of year. I actually, my favorite time is that space between Christmas or the holiday season, depending on what you celebrate, and New Year's. There's that 4 or 5 days in between where it's such an incredible opportunity to reflect back on the year that we've just had. You know, I spend a lot of time myself with my family, you know, feeling really grateful for what we've accomplished over the year, reflecting on what we can maybe do better next year, what do we want to do, and there's these real strong feelings of hope and desire and rejuvenation. And then this new year starts, which is where we are right now. My kids went back to school today. We are back into routines. The kids aren't maniacs anymore. Woo! You know, within 2 days, they'll be back to some normalcy. And with that came this feeling of like, okay, right, now I need to put this action plan that I've been kind of manifesting in my mind over the last week and a half, 10 days into an action plan. And how that shows up in our business is really, you've probably heard this a million times. It shows up in people's New Year's resolutions this time of year. And the top two New Year's resolutions, year in and year out, are health and wealth. People want to take charge of their health. People are tired or sick and tired of being sick and tired. Overeat over the holidays, all the stuff that, overindulge, all the things we all tend to want to do. And then we go into this new year and everyone has those goals, fitness goals, weight loss goals, or just taking charge of their health goals. And we have a solution for that. And then the other one is wealth. Maybe people are just trying to keep it together, and we have a solution for that. I'm always, shocked at the amount of household debt people have and how $500 a month can change someone's life. It can prevent them from losing their home. And we have such a solution for that. And that's, it's hard work, but it's an easy first target in our business to help people earn, a few $100s a month in this business. And then you sit back and look, at how many people are kicking off this new year with worry about their income. We know it's prevalent because that gig economy is driving, it's happening. And so we look at it and say we have such an incredible and easy solution for people that, can help them take charge of their health and help them maybe save their home or just help make ends meet. Or the complete opposite of that, where this is their year to thrive. This is their year where they want to take charge, and this is their year where they're going to, start to build that retirement plan or pay off the house or, whatever that is. It's such a wide spectrum, but it's always the top of people's lists heading into a new year, and we have such an incredible solution for it. We have such a solution for both. And so my question out to everybody, and this is what I've been doing on Zooms and calls over this last week, is, it's about what you want from it. It's really about what were you thinking about in that space between holidays and the new year? What are you falling in love with in terms of what your 2019 is going to look like? As you reflect back next December, what do you want to be most proud of? And what's the action plan for that? Because the gig economy is there. The wellness industry is there. We're part of an industry that's huge. I think just looking at my notes, the direct sales industry. So this is our space. This is where people contribute in terms of our space. In 2016 was $189.6 billion people spent. So there's a rise in terms of supporting businesses like ours, and there's a giant rise in people looking for solutions in businesses like ours. And so we head into this new year. I ask you, what's your goal? And I encourage you to build an action plan around that. And it doesn't have to be complicated. I tend to overcomplicate things. I will start to dream about what that looks like, and then I'll start to put pen to paper. And the next thing I know, I've got this giant, goal list that's ridiculous. I used to have this whiteboard the size of a picture or bigger behind me, and I'd write all these goals down. And it was just too much. I had to boil it down into some bite-sized things. What am I going to do in 3 or 4 different areas of my life over the course of this year that I'm going to reflect back on when the year is done that's going to make me feel most proud of what I've set out to do? And so I encourage you to do that, and then help as many other people as possible realize their dreams by going out and sharing this as well with them, because we got a mission, and your guys' team of Mission Possible just fits with it so well. So I want to thank you guys for inviting me on, and I hope that helped. There's some cool information in there that you can share with people in terms of why this is such a good solution, and why the Juice Plus company can be such a great opportunity for people as we head into this new year. So thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Really, I just love what you've shared with us, and that for $50 a year, we can build a global business. That's just unthinkable in the world today, and we have that opportunity. And as you were speaking, we love that same time of year as well, Stephen, between Christmas and New Year's, and the reflecting and the planning, and we did all of that as well. And one of the things that I wrote down, and I was thinking about this with our call tonight, with you coming to share, and I'm just going to offer up the word possibility to everybody. This is a word that's really resonating with me right now. And I don't know, and it sounds like you too, Stephen, are very excited about all the possibilities that we have as we start this year. We can focus on what we don't have, but let's just focus on the possibilities that our mission offers to inspire healthy living for our good health and better finances. So Stephen, you've kicked us off so beautifully. Thank you. I know our team is thanking you, so we appreciate it. So thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you at the spring conference.
Absolutely. I can't wait. We're heading into beautiful Sacramento in April, which I cannot wait for. We're in the middle of a freezing rain, winter storm out there. So I keep those dates on my desktop of my calendar, thinking only that long till around 7,000 amazing people and warm weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a great goal to put down on people's list as well, is to get to our Juice Plus Live Sacramento. Absolutely.
Yes, we're gonna. I mean, I think everybody's feeling that 2019 is going to be the banner year for we see incredible things happen in individual lives and in the Juice Plus company. So, thank you. Let's give everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody
Thank
gets
you, Stephen. Thank you so much.
Now our trick, guys, is to go out and take advantage of all this beautiful information and really challenge that he has given us tonight. So let's go do it. Let's make it the best. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you,
Happy-
Stephen. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
week, everybody.
Bye.